At the age of 24, I got the chance all of a sudden to go and work in Hong Kong. Back then, I was working for a major bank and I had just recently moved departments, and my boss approached me with this opportunity. But by that time, I actually never thought of myself as a great employee, or I didn't even truly understand what I was doing most of the time. But I remember having a conversation with a colleague who interestingly said to me, well, Tommy, you get to work in Hong Kong at the age of 24. Imagine where you will be in 10 years from now. But this idea and this comment puzzled me a little bit because I was thinking, but where am I supposed to be in my mid-30s? Do I need to move yet to another country? Do I need to be in line for a next CEO? What do I need to achieve to be able to fulfill these expectations that seem to be there? At that time, I didn't even have this expectation on myself because I have to admit, I had no idea where I wanted to go professionally. I didn't really understand at that moment what I truly enjoyed doing. And it brought me to this idea that the corporate world is always about developing yourself. It's always about changing and growing and taking yet another step. And I've always struggled a bit with this concept because while I get the idea that you can add new skills to what you know, you can learn something new, I don't quite agree that there is the need to constantly develop and change who you are. And that's also this fallacy that comes with these development goals that you set each year. In my case, there were always those quantitative goals like professional goals, which I did understand how I could improve on. But then I also had to improve on things like personal character traits. And I was thinking, but if I do that, then it also means that I'm operating under the assumption that who I am at this very moment, who that idea of myself is, isn't good enough, and that I need to improve, that I need to change. And that always made me feel like we are all operating from this place of lack, from this idea that it needs to be better than what it is right now. And I think that's just not what the world or what the corporate world should be all about. We should all operate under the assumption that who we are right this very moment is perfectly fine. We are a whole human being. We are whole as the person we are. Because isn't in the end life experiencing itself in 8 billion different varieties? Isn't that what life is all about, this experience that is very unique? So the unique expression that you are in this life is perfectly fine the way it is. And if you want to dig deeper even, then you would also say that the idea of the self in itself is a concept in your mind. It's nothing but ideas, conditioning, your history. It's maybe even based on comments that you've heard from your parents, from your bosses, from colleagues or friends. It isn't even truly real if you look deeply, because where is that sense of I? Where is I, if you think about it? And so this idea that this is something that you can improve feels like you are just rewriting a piece of fiction, because in the end you could write in it whatever you want, but it wouldn't fundamentally change who you are. And that's more about this underlying awareness and not a conceptual self. I feel like in these days that we're living, it's always about growing. It's always about further developing. And it's the case whenever I look at social media, and especially at young people, they say that I'm working towards becoming the best version of myself. The idea that there is a best version of yourself means that what you are at this very moment isn't the best version. And isn't that a sad thought? I mean, I get it if you want to change the way you eat, or if you want to quit smoking. That's basically taking care of yourself. It's not like you need to put on muscle to become a better version of yourself. These days of pressuring ourselves and the image that we carry of ourselves is just incredible. It's so much pressure, it leads to so much frustration. We try to improve what simply doesn't need any improvement, and that's who you are. I want you to leave with the message of there's no need to improve the self, because in the end there is no self, it's just a made-up concept. And who you are, this expression of life that you are in this very life, is perfectly fine the way it is. No need to add any more pressure or weight on you. Thanks for watching, and see you soon again.